Today I will tell you how to properly purify homemade chacha from various harmful oils that have a very negative impact on health. If these oils accumulate in the body, they can cause a hangover syndrome similar to that of regular vodka, which in the morning can lead to headaches, heart pain, and tachycardia. But in order for our homemade moonshine chacha to be clean and beautiful, I will tell you the following method. Our brew has already been distilled. We have turned it into good chacha, which is clear, pure, and beautiful, just like this sample. Still, it contains a lot of harmful oils that poison our body. In principle, it is said that this is the purest and best moonshine, but it is still better to carry out purification. For these purposes, I carry out the following procedure. First of all, the first thing that comes out of our moonshine still is these kinds of deposits. They are similar to acetone, which has a very harmful effect on our body, on the stomach, and can even dissolve paint. In this case, I use it to fill the windshield washer reservoir in the car. It's very useful, as it doesn't freeze in winter and cleans the glass well. The next chacha that comes after the first distillate is normal chacha, which can be consumed and will not negatively affect our body too much. Therefore, up to 45 degrees, everything else is taken and placed in a bottle with a lid, which is closed during the distillation process, because many spirits evaporate, so be careful with this matter. Everything below 45 degrees is collected separately, and this is already a completely different cloudy liquid that is used for the next distillation. As a sample, I will show you what it looks like. Here is such a cloudy liquid. It can be drunk, but as true gourmets, we won't poison ourselves with this stuff, so we set it aside and use it for the next distillation. If you add it to the next distillation still, it will turn into a more concentrated solution and will be more pleasant to drink next time. After the processing, our chacha has an alcohol content of 60 degrees. It is necessary to dilute it with good purified water, but we will not dilute it right away. Instead, we will filter it with a good filter. That's about it. This is the filter, our water, but there are many different filters like Barrier and others. Therefore, in my opinion, this is the best method for purifying chacha. It is preferable that it is fresh and has been stored at home for a little while. Take such a portion. The decanter that comes with the set, you can skip the glass. It is very useful and good. Now it is necessary to polish the part so that it is mirror clean and does not smell of anything. Take a clean 3-liter bottle, which should be thoroughly washed and dried. Place the part from the decanter that comes with it on top, ensuring it fits securely, and carefully lower the cartridge for water purification inside, making sure it is properly positioned. It is highly preferable that it is fresh and completely unspoiled. Now it is absolutely necessary to take the distillate obtained after the first distillation process and very carefully pour a small amount for thorough and meticulous filtration. It is extremely important to ensure that the distillate is carefully and precisely filtered. Filtration is extremely slow if we have a clean cartridge, but it cleans our distillate exceptionally well from all of those oily substances, and in the future it will not harm our liver as much, which reacts incredibly painfully to these oily substances. The initial product obtained from the distillation of the distillate is 60 degrees. This is too much for the body. It dehydrates it and has a very negative effect on the stomach, so it is necessary to dilute it. For dilution, I use regular bottled store water. Ideally, it would be best to use spring or well water, but we don't have any nearby. Therefore, the only way out of this situation is to buy bottled water. Let's proceed with the dilution. We pour the purified chacha into the previously prepared bucket. It is preferable to use a transparent one, because it is easier to control the amount of alcohol with the alcohol meter in a transparent pour. An alcohol meter is carefully taken, which is calibrated up to 98 degrees and precisely. The initial temperature is 20 degrees. This is the ideal and standard temperature required for dilution. In our room, the temperature is about 22-23 degrees, so a small margin of error should be taken into account when diluting the Chacha. We carefully and gently lower it into the Chacha and slowly observe closely what the alcohol meter shows us. In our case, the alcohol meter shows 50 degrees. This means that we need to dilute the Chacha by only 5%. Let's proceed with the dilution. Some enthusiasts of homemade strong alcohol need to. Pitkov believes that one should pour the spirit into the water. I did not notice this dependency, so I pour purified water into the Chacha, which is already ready for dilution. It should be diluted in small amounts to avoid overdoing it with water. The hydrometer shows 45 degrees. This indicates that the drink has been diluted correctly. Well, we have finished the purification of Chacha. It turned out to be quite a natural and valuable product. You can't buy it in such a store. I want to repeat once more that peace is at the foundation of everything. Therefore, this drink should be consumed occasionally, in small amounts, and without fanaticism.